I'd like to welcome everyone present today and those watching the broadcast and call the February 6, 2018 regular meeting to order with all board members present except for Richard Barrera due to the passing of his father this morning. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated. If you wish to address the board on any of the agenda items before the board today, and your name is not on the speaker list printed on blue paper located at both entrances to the auditorium, and you have not already submitted a request for public testimony form, please complete the form and submit it to Cheryl Ward, the board action officer on my right. Speakers on agenda items will be called on to speak during the discussion of the agenda item. Once discussion begins on an item, no additional public speaker requests will be accepted by the board. Board Bylaw 1025 provides that public testimony on an agenda item is limited to a maximum of 20 minutes per consent and/or action item, allowing for a maximum of 10 minutes per opposing view. Public testimony speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker, and depending upon the total number of speakers, the board on an item, it may be reduced to 2 minutes or 1 minute, allowing us time to hear as many views as possible. The time limit for speakers on today's agenda items will be announced at each item. Section B, adopt the agenda. I'd like a motion to adopt today's agenda.
So move.
Is there a second? Please vote. That passes. Section C, public participation. Non-agenda public testimony up to 30 minutes. Non-agenda public testimony is also heard at the end of the meeting. We have 3 speakers. You have 3 minutes each: Francine Maxwell, Ann Patterson, and Citizen. Please come forward and speak in any order. You have 3 minutes. Please begin.
I want to address my concerns that employees in San Diego Unified School District are not being properly trained to protect our children in public schools. It continues to be an issue that employees do not know what mandated reporting is and what situation they need to be reporting, and too many kids are being victimized because you people don't have the right training in place. One of my biggest concerns is that you are not tracking complaints on individual employees so that you can track a pattern. We had a teacher at La Jolla High School who had complaints over 2 decades, and nothing was done. And when the school was asked, do you have any complaints about this teacher, the school district responded by saying no. And as it turns out, there were emails that revealed that complaints were filed on this teacher. So if you don't have records that tell you that there are reports being made that children are being victimized by teachers and other employees, how can you protect them? Now, I was at a meeting in which Mike McQuarrie was speaking, and he was asked directly about cases in which students reported abuse and nothing was done. Now, he tells me he forgot the question, and that's why he didn't answer it. But I was watching it, and he was asked a question, and he moved on to the next question without addressing that question. Now, we disagree. It looked to me like he was ignoring the question, and let me tell you, there were 50 people in that room, and 50 people were very upset that a citizen asked that question. And he didn't address it. He didn't address it until people said, wait a minute, you didn't answer that question. We want to know what the school district is doing to protect children. So these are all issues that have come up. Lost complaints. no records. When a report is made, instead of employees protecting that child is further victimized by making him look like he's a liar, or he doesn't understand what happened to him, and we can't do that anymore, not in this environment. Crawford High School, SCPA, Lincoln, all places where teachers victimize students, groom them, and engage them in a sexual relationship. And none of the employees did anything. They saw it, and they didn't do anything. And that shouldn't be happening in this school district. Failure to report, employees that fail to report when they see sexual abuse or any type of sexual harassment, they should be fired. And their name should be turned over to the district attorney and be prosecuted for failing to report.
Please begin.
My name is Ann Patterson. I'm a community homeowner that lives near the Darnall Charter School. And with due respect to all the wonderful students that are here and that go to that school, I am here to register how it impacts me and the 120 other homeowners at Sunrise Point condominiums. Already, noise from the Darnall Charter School and the Head Start program limits 120 homeowners from the free enjoyment of their homes. The schools are located within close proximity to 120 homeowners at Sunrise Point. The noise is so loud and persistent throughout the day, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. up until sundown, that windows must be kept shut or the resident must endure the constant screaming, school bells, loud music, and loudspeaker announcements coming from the two schools. It is impossible to enjoy an outdoor patio during these hours. Now, it appears that the San Diego Unified School District has approved funds, $29 million, for an expansion project to include a soccer field in very close proximity to 3 of our buildings. And I'm in one of them, of course, facing the school. It is widely felt that this would affect home values negatively. The residents are seeking simple sound abatement measures now, and I will be going directly to the school and just asking for simple things like aiming speakers a different direction, lowering the sound of all the music, the driving music which works the kids up into a frenzy so that they're all screaming. If that could be done somewhere behind closed doors, whatever. But in the meantime, I would ask that the soccer field that's planned for the expansion be reconsidered, because it's really not an appropriate place to put floodlights and soccer games going on. Now this would extend the noise nuisance through weekends, evenings. Really, our homes would be unlivable. So I'm just bringing this to your attention. I don't know. I'm going to take it other places, of course, and have homeowners petition. But thank you for listening.
Francine Maxwell.
Proverbs 28:13 says, he who covers his sin will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. You sit on the diocese and you say, we can't know everything that's happening in every one of our schools, but we bring to you as public advocates, we bring you things that you could fix. Morris High School has a classroom full of 36 kids, 15 with IEPs. That's 3 teachers in one classroom. 2 of them are special ed teachers when they decide to show up to work. There's 1 credentialed teacher that knows nothing of those 15 children's IEPs. So finals were given, and those 15 children did not have what their IEPs called for, which were final exam modifications. Many of those children live in TJ. So as they go home and they talk to their parents, the parents say, just take the F because you'll be going to summer school. That's not community engagement. That's not parent engagement. Crawford High School, we know all our students come from around the world. And yes, Faces is working diligently, and we're trying to help meet parents where they are. But when a parent drops their child off with 110% trust in that school, a trust in IEPs that everything is going to be given to that child, and we know this school year that many things, illegal activities, are happening with our children not getting what is called for in their IEPs. Lincoln High School. We know what's occurring at Lincoln. We've made the diocese distinctly aware. They're having meetings after meetings to discuss Title I money of a librarian that has disrespected students after students, and she's being paid with Title I money, and those monies could be used for interventions. When Lincoln received their budget book, she was still in the budget book. Schools north of 8, when they received their budget books, they could not have a librarian. It was crossed out of their budget book. All of those schools have a library tech because you and I both know that the library can run with the tech. I'm so sick and tired of 2018. We're doing the same things over and over. That's the definition of insanity. Look within yourselves and do what you said you were going to do. Put children first, not adults. Alejandro should not be running to the trolley to get back to TJ to tell his mother that his IEP is not being adhered to. 36 kids, 15 with IEPs, 3 teachers in one classroom, 2 special ed teachers that habitually do not show up for those children. 1 teacher is left to try to help those children, but she has to help the other children first without the IEPs because they have to learn. The teachers are calling for help. Special ed teachers get paid twice as much as a regular teacher, but they expect that teacher to do their work when they're not there. I would like these trustees to ask your one employee, the superintendent. She sends her area soups out there. What are they doing? What are they bringing back to you for the paycheck that they're getting?
Thank you very much. We move on to Section E, operational matters reserved for the board. Section E1 is a public hearing on the San Diego Cooperative Charter School 2, action on renewal and revision of the charter petition to add an additional location, public hearing and resolution on general waiver request to the State Board of Education. We'll now hear item E1. I'd like a motion on E1 to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Superintendent Martin, please present the item.
Thank you, President Beiser. I have Charter Office staff, and Ms. Walsh are you presenting this one? We'll present where we are with this recommendation for cooperative charter and how we plan to proceed and what our recommendation is.
Thank you. As has been mentioned, this is the San Diego Co-op 2 action on renewal plus revision plus request for general waiver. Staff is recommending that the board accept a voluntary surrender of the charter of San Diego Cooperative Charter School 2 effective July 30, 2118, which would have been the expiration date for the charter. Approve a material revision to the charter of San Diego Cooperative Charter School to add a new location at 3550 Logan Avenue effective July 1, and conduct the public hearing on the general waiver request to the State Board of Education regarding waiving a portion of Ed Code 47652. San Diego Cooperative Charter School 2 currently serves grades K-8 on a co-located district site at Logan Avenue. It's the Emerson Bandini site. Table 1 provides an overview of the school and its current enrollment. Tables 3 through 6 summarize the charter school's enrollment by ethnicity and subgroups and includes data for the comparison group of schools. So when considering, and I realize this is a bit of a different recommendation than we've done most recently, but when considering a petition for renewal pursuant to California Code of Regulations, the district governing board shall consider the past performance of the school's academics, finances, and operations in evaluating the likelihood of future success, along with future plans for improvement. So we do note that during its first term, and this is, the charter school has only had 1 term, so this would be their first renewal. During its first term, they did have solid operations and finances, so they are on good footing in both of those areas. Even though they have done well operationally and financially, they have not shown the school-wide academic progress on state assessments as required for renewal. They've had some limited growth in 2 of their student subgroups in math, and they did produce some map data. It's included later in the write-up that does show some progress among especially their cohort groups. But we didn't see that statutorily required measure of school-wide progress being met. So we have a partial academic progress. So based on that, we did meet, district staff met with Co-op 2's leadership to discuss the concerns, and specifically as they relate to the charter renewal. And as a result of those discussions, it was determined that the recommendation that's before you now would be the staff's recommendation. And that is essentially that the Co-op 2 charter would lapse, and instead there would be a revision to the Co-op 1 charter, and the Mountain View site would operate as a second site under that charter. We note that there's no technical process to merge two schools, but we do know that they are operated essentially by the same organization. So they share the same CEO, the same governing board, which is professionally diverse and very active in the oversight of these schools. They also share the same finance teams. And the recommendation is made with the viewpoint of the co-op charter has been operating for 15 years. They have a lot of stability in their teaching staff, and they are making progress academically. So if Mountain View has the opportunity to operate as a school of Co-op 1, we believe that that will provide the Mountain View site with some more intense professional development, some mentorship being provided to less experienced teachers from the experienced, stable teachers from the Co-op 1 site. There'll be a full-time math coordinator that will be assigned to the Mountain View site, a full-time EL coordinator to support that student group assigned there. They'll have some additional supports and materials and resources for teachers and students, and some extra supports for after school and the summer months. There's other items too, and I know I saw Tom out there earlier today, and I'm sure if you have questions or want more information, I'm sure he'd be happy to share those with you. But that was sort of the genesis of why this recommendation is there. Also, as part of tonight's action, we have the request for the general waiver on behalf of San Diego Cooperative Charter School. Ed Code Section 33050 allows a school district to submit on behalf of a charter school. They can't do it directly themselves. The authorizer has to do it for them. The submission of a waiver to the State Board of Education. And what that would do is essentially, as of June 30, if the board approved staff's recommendation, as of June 30, 2018, the Co-op 2 charter no longer exists. So July 1, there's only the Co-op 1 charter. And so all of the funding that was attached to the Co-op 2 charter doesn't follow the students to Co-op 1 immediately. So the waiver, it's a general waiver to the State Board of Ed, allows the submission of an application to State Board of Ed to waive some limiting provisions in the Ed Code for the charter school, and they would be able to apply for a special 20-day charter school apportionment and receive advance payment from the state based on the full ADA as opposed to just the prior year's P2 ADA, which would have been only the co-op students. So with this, if the board approves this, Co-op 1 is taking on a 66% increase in its student enrollment. So that's the reason for the waiver, and we did include the specific language that's being requested to be waived. Pages 5 through 13 include the details of the academic analysis that staff did. On page 14 and 15, we provided a summary of Co-op 2's LCAP and the annual update included in that. We have the standard board roster and the projected enrollments, and then finally the last page is the staff's review of the finances for Co-op 2, showing that the school is fiscally solvent.
Thank you very much. At this point in time, I'd like to open a public hearing on E1. We have one speaker. Tom, you have 3 minutes. Just a note to the public, it seems that the speaker lights are not working at this time, so at 3 minutes, the only thing that happens is the alarm goes off, so that you won't get that yellow warning light.
Thank you. Thank you for your interest in our students. that are your students too. Richard Barrera, Sharon Whitehurst Payne, and Dr. McQuarrie all were gracious enough to spend significant time on our campus recently. And we know with over 250 schools in your district, it's amazing that 3 of 5 trustees were able to visit, and we appreciate that. And that's no slight to the 2 trustees that were not able to. You have a lot of schools. Trustee Barrera framed our work ahead as the perfect SDCCS real world challenge. Take what we have been successful doing at both schools, the learnings of what has worked and what hasn't worked, and then bring everybody together and involve our teachers and staff and community to make it even better for all students. And I think this recommendation does exactly that. We've embraced this perspective and have put a number of measures in place to support student learning at higher levels. At the end of last year, our approved LCAP reflects our instructional improvements that we put into place this school year. Hiring a math coordinator to support the new middle school program at SDCCS Mountain View, and to make sure that we have vertical alignment from K-8 systems for our Linda Vista and our Mountain View campus. Identifying EL coordinators at both sites to design interventions, programs, and personnel that will make a consistent and significant impact on our language acquisition. As a part of the process of the charter renewal, Deidre Walsh, the director of the charter office, shared with us that she and the board know that a school is so much more than a set of test scores, but that the law states test scores have to be the major determining factor to show that all students are benefiting from our program. We know that there are 2 ways to react to this. Focus on test prep or focus on mastery and deep learning. As a part of course, we've chosen to focus on mastery and deep learning with data as our guide. So after reviewing all our current CAST map data and all the other data sources we have, we are creating a school growth plan that addresses all the components of learning that I'll mention below. This plan has a development deadline of February 9th and an implementation target of February 15th. The major areas that we're looking at are use of assessments and data, the professional development of all staff and leadership, base instructional model design enhancements, and then maximizing time and facilities, and response to intervention systems, and support for our English learners, and ultimately raising our culture of academia. In fact, we are already implementing some aspects, including redesigning our Tier 1 and Tier 2 response to intervention programs and piloting ST Math, which has been widely deployed in successful school districts, including the San Diego Unified School District. In short, we have used this process as a watershed moment to change the way we look and use academic data. Our leadership team, staff, and parents are a big part of this process, and our board is laser focused on using the academic and fiscal oversight to make sure that all students are growing towards performance standards.
Thank you. I'll now close the public hearing. If there's no other board member comment or questions, please vote. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Evans.
Okay, I'm trying to, in terms of the academic performance, now we talked about standardized test scores. Do I understand you correctly that based on academics, they do not qualify for renewal?
So there are, as you are aware, there's different categories that students can meet the academic renewal criteria under.
Right.
We look for multiple criterias within there.
Right.
Because the school is newer, several of them were not available for them, like the old API, AYP data. So they didn't have that. So we had to look at the available CASP data and then supplemented that with the alternative measures, which would also include the MAP data. So we did see that while they made some gains academically within 2 of their subgroups in math, we didn't see any school-wide gains on the CASP. And then we did see gains within their data on MAP testing. So I would say that they have partially met the criteria, but we found that they did not fully meet the academic criteria. So if we took a hard and fast line on the schools must meet these before we look at anything else, they would not have passed that hurdle.
And I guess this is a general question, not just about this school, but in terms of, we have a 5-year renewal period. Do we have anything in place, like by the 3rd or 4th year, that if there are problems that are identified, and rather than waiting until the moment of applying for the renewal? Because, on the surface, it looks like, okay, this renewal is coming up, and so therefore there are these questions on the performance, and I realize it's complicated with the changes in testing and so forth. But I'm just wondering, not in just specifically for this school, but just in general, what happens by the 3rd or 4th year if there's a certain trend? Or do we even have the resources to be aware of that?
So we do, as part of our annual site visit, we review a lot of different documentation for the school, and we also, on an annual basis, look at the CASP outcomes. So we do monitor and we identify issues for school at our annual site visit. So for instance, if we saw that they were having some fiscal issues, we would point that out at the site visit and then hope to see it corrected by the next site visit. So we do monitor these pieces all throughout the term, but there's not really a mechanism within the ed code that says if they're not performing at year 3, you should go in and do A, B, and C. There are, of course, always the avenues of notice of violation and revocation process, but those are lengthy processes, and most schools can correct violations once they are notified of them. And then with the academics, specifically for this school, we knew that they had taken a bit of a dip, and it wasn't until very late when the most recent CASP scores were released in, I think it was early September, that we saw them, where we saw that they had taken a substantial decline. And so for this school in particular, we didn't have a chance to have that conversation because we didn't have that data piece yet. But in general, for schools, we do have conversations on an ongoing basis with the schools about identified issues.
Okay, and then one other question. This is more technical about the merger of two schools and the fact that this isn't usually done this way. I suppose another way to look at it would be that Cooperative Charter School 1 continues as it has, and Cooperative Charter School 2 is a part of that. Wouldn't they be able to just add on to the other school? In other words, if Charter School 2 is closed and then Charter School 1 adds on more students, would that be possible? Or is it because there's two different campuses that it's not quite the same school?
So charter schools have the opportunity to grow their enrollment. Most of them have faced limitations within their facilities. So the co-op site in Linda Vista is at capacity. So while they may want to add students, they don't at that facility have space to do so. And so we do have charter schools that are authorized by us that operate multiple sites.
Right.
This is not unusual, but
Right.
But there is some limitations based on the facility. And I think Ms. Donovan might have something to add.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, in terms of process, what this is really is allowing the Charter School 2 charter to expire and a material revision to Charter School 1 to add the new location, which is required by law when there's an additional campus. You're correct that the students could simply enroll in Charter School 1, but in order to keep the second site, there's the requirement of the material revision.
Okay, I understand. Okay, and I do appreciate the fact that other board members have taken the time to visit the school. I know when I've had an on-site visit to school, it makes a big difference in terms of knowing what's going on in the school, and I trust them very much, so I'm going to support this petition.
Dr. Whitehurst-Payne?
I did visit the site at their invitation, and I think this is a good solution. If charter school number 1 was successful, and we're talking about replication, then they need to figure out what went wrong, what's not working, and see if they can't replicate that model if it worked. And if it works there at the first site, then it should work anywhere, because I think that was part of the whole charter school legislation, that they wanted prototypes to be developed, which potentially could be replicated. And here we have some of the same elements, but something's missing, and they need to work out whatever it is that's missing. So, thank you.
Dr. McQuarrie?
So I have visited both sites at Linda Vista and the Mountain View site. I want to thank Tom and staff, the teachers, the parents, students. They're both lots of energy, a lot of support, and I realize that they're not focusing on test scores, and test scores truly are not the measure of a child. What they do focus on, and it's that deep learning, it is the social, emotional, the relationships, the respect, identifying students as individuals, and allowing them to grow and to learn how to learn. So I'm encouraged that they will be able to transfer and replicate the successes at Linda Vista into Mountain View. Different groups of people, different children, but I think it is the opportunity to take what is successful and transfer it to a location. So I'm thrilled at the solution that is being brought forward, and that I hope wish them well. My question, a couple of questions. One is, when will the waiver be presented to the state board? And we're assuming a positive outcome. What happens if it's not approved?
So the waiver, as soon as this board, essentially if you voted to approve submission of the waiver, staff tomorrow would log in, and it's done online. It's a very quick process, so we would submit it very quickly. The State Board of Ed, I believe it's their May agenda. They have a section for waivers, and so it would go to the state board in May. If they approved it, then the charter school would submit their 20-day attendance reports and get the funding that way. If it's not approved, we did have a conversation with the school today that they have reviewed their finances, and they would be able to, even without the state's advance apportionment, they would be able to support the growth in enrollment and the two sites.
So there would be no negative impact on our district budget?
Correct. This does not impact the district's budget.
Then the other question is sort of general. I noticed that there are 71 students attending that school who come from outside of the district. And when there are students who attend our regular schools, our neighborhood schools, who come from outside of a district, there needs to be a district agreement between the two districts. And I'm wondering, is there an agreement the sending district and into the charter school?
So the only boundary that exists for charter schools is the state of California. So if you reside anywhere within the state of California, it doesn't matter where, you are eligible to attend or seek enrollment at any charter school. So they don't have traditional boundaries like district schools do. So there is no need for those inter-district transfers or agreements. You can enroll at any school.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other comments or questions, please vote. And that is approved unanimously. On to item E2. E2 is a public hearing to consider the renewal charter petition of Innovations Academy. Superintendent Martin, please present the item.
Thank you, President Beiser. Yes, it's the public hearing regarding the renewal of Innovations Academy, and Ms. Walsh will make the recommendation.
Thank you. So Innovations Academy is seeking a renewal of its charter for a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2018 and ending June 30, 2023. The public hearing is to consider the level of support for Innovations. Table 1 provides a summary of Innovations charter petitions and terms. So they have already been through the renewal process. This is their second one. The school currently serves grades K through 8 at a district site located at 10380 Spring Canyon Road, which is within the attendance boundaries of Dingman Elementary, Marshall Middle, and Scripps Ranch High School. Table 2, we've included a overview of Innovations. It's a multi-year overview of the school. Table 3 summarizes their projected enrollment for the next 5 years. The governing board is the decision-making body for the charter school. They currently have 5 board members, as summarized in Table 4. And their enrollment for 2017-18 school year consisted of students that would have otherwise attended the schools identified in Table 5. We do note that the largest percentage of their students, a little over 43%, are coming from outside of our district. And district staff will review the charter renewal documents submitted by the school and bring forward a recommendation to grant or deny the renewal at a subsequent date.
Thank you. At this point in time, I'll open up a public hearing. And we have a few speakers on this item. Each speaker will have 2 minutes so that we can hear all of them. Christine Kuglin.
I love you guys. Good evening, board members and Superintendent Martin. I'm the founding director of Innovations Academy. Thank you for supporting our school. We appreciate what the district has done for us, the time dedicated to our school, the supportive words and guidance from district staff, and the opportunity to provide a unique learning experience to the children of San Diego. All human children need a developmental learning environment in which study is fun, interesting, and meaningful to them. They need to play with ideas and materials, be creative, and explore. They need adults to understand that we all make mistakes and that life and children's behaviors and needs are more complicated than rocket science. They need voice and choice in their daily lives. At IA for 9.5 years, our focus has been to provide this for them. It is a huge undertaking, and we are succeeding. We have graduates who are successful in high school and college. We attract visiting schools from around the country to see our model. Our staff that have children have them at our school. Our students come from 106 different neighborhoods and 15 different school districts, and we are doing what we said we would do when we were initially authorized. But as all dedicated educators know, there is never a time where we are satisfied with our work. We have created something special, yet we have so much more to do. We have areas to improve, facets of education that we're struggling with, and learning that has yet to be explored. And that we will do with the opportunity only you can provide. As you review our charter, feel free to call or come by to ask questions. I have given each of you a packet that contains letters written by our parents, and I encourage you to read them because I think the parents say it best. I hope you can find the time to read them, and I hope we see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bridget Marchland. Gabriella Dow.
Good evening, board members and Superintendent Martin. I'm a product of San Diego Unified Public Schools. I'm originally from Guadalajara, Mexico, and I learned how to speak English when I moved here in 6th grade. I attended Green Elementary School. I attended Lewis, I still call it junior high school, and Patrick Henry High School. I went on to UCLA, to the Universidad Complutense in Madrid, and I came back to San Diego and now have my 2 boys in Innovations Academy. And we come from the Poway Unified School District, where they had wonderful bilingual education at Valley Elementary. We sought that out, but I think as both of you know, there are a lot of challenges at Poway Unified. I have seen the best in schools. I see that in Innovations Academy, and I've seen challenges in schools from the time that I was a student to, of course, now as a parent and serving on foundation boards and serving on the Technology Advisory Committee. I can tell you that the very best is at Innovations Academy, having had so much experience with different schools and really seeing education evolving with a lot of the technology startups that I work with today. It's very difficult to know what it is that we need to prepare our students for in the economy of the future, but we know that in order to really protect the future of this country, we need to raise confident, happy, grounded, successful children in their own measurements of success, not just with the test scores, but with the extra time that they get with all of the teachers, with the type of guidance that is provided by Christine and by the entire community and faculty and staff at Innovations Academy. I can't speak highly enough. We were so fortunate fortunate to have found Innovations Academy. We really value the approach to learning. I think that's something that would be valuable for all public schools, just like Innovations Academy is a public school. And I really think, I can't imagine that you wouldn't renew their charter, but I really do hope that you come and see some of the great examples that are provided at Innovations, and that can serve as an example for other schools in San Diego Unified, other schools in San Diego County. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Bridget Marchand.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for this time. I just wanted to say that you are going to hear a little bit of my story, but my story echoes the story of all the parents that are out there. They may have come through a different journey, but we've all come to IA for similar experiences for our children. I've sent a copy of my letter to each one of you, and I'm going to read my letter. And this is some of the things that I love about Innovations Academy and how it's affected my family, and how us coming together as a community and a family is really going to help shape our community moving forward. I'm a parent of children in grades 5th and 3rd at Innovations Academy. This is our 4th year at the school, and I love Innovations Academy because it's a place where both of my children have thrived, both academically and emotionally. This is huge. My son is in 5th grade, and he never wants to miss a day. Even if he's truly sick, he makes me take him to the teacher so he can check in to make sure he's not going to miss out on anything. That's how much he is engaged in his educational journey. It's been a safe place for him to explore his strengths and creativity, but also to learn personal responsibility. Even though we do not have meaningless homework with worksheets at Innovations, he is authoring his own chapter book series, so it's created a space for him to capture everything in his imagination, and he's given the tools to actually produce, which is really exciting to see him doing on his own, taking that initiative. This would not be possible in a traditional school setting. All of our kids in the neighborhood, we also reside in the Poway School District, and they're at home doing their homework, and they're not able to pursue the things that they're passionate about. My daughter's in 3rd grade. She's young for her grade, and she's benefited significantly by this peer support groups that Innovations Academy has developed. While other schools in the United States are accepting the whole frenemy girl culture, Innovations Academy takes it beyond that, and we actually look at how we can make them better friends with each other. So anyway, both sides, very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Spitzberg.
Good evening, board. My name is Tony Spitzberg. I'm an administrator at Innovations, and I taught both 7th and 8th grade at our school for 7 years. Many of our former students visit us and love to talk about their IA experience. And certainly they recall all their friends, their teachers, and their favorite field trips. We strive to take one field trip a month. But they also reminisce about projects, about authentic experiences with genuine purpose that allowed them to learn and give back. Former 7th graders recall partnering with the La Maestra Community Center in City Heights to create a documentary about the plights of the immigrants they interviewed, and they invited them to exhibition for a screening of their documentary. IA visitors are former 4th graders who talk about what it was like to deliver well-researched speeches to the city board in favor of the plastic bag ban, and to watch themselves on the news that evening, and the experience of joy upon learning that the ban had passed. Our visitors are former 8th graders who recall exploring the Bill of Rights and then partnering with Amnesty International in a public service announcement and letter writing campaign that helped to free 12 victims of human rights abuses. They're 8th graders who worked with a San Diego playwright to develop and perform plays about the resilience that slaves found through resistance. And they're former 6th graders who reminisce about working with those suffering with Alzheimer's at the Sunshine Care Facility. They interviewed patients and researched their music tastes fundraised for MP3 players, loaded the songs on them, and worked with the patients to ensure that they could access their favorite music. These are just a few of the many project memories that former students enjoy sharing. Enclosed in your packet is an invite with 3 options that you can take advantage of to see what students are doing and witness more memories in the making. We hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Sierra Potter.
Hi, I'm Kira Potter, and I'm here to support the renewal of Innovations Academy. So high school is a very scary concept for me, and I used to the whole thought used to scare me, but now looking at my brother who is in a public school and how well he's doing, I feel a lot more relaxed and comfortable, and especially because of what I'm doing at IA. Being a student at IA has encouraged me to look to my peers for feedback and for help, and to help me think out of the box and prevent new information in all these different ways, like games and skits. Project-based learning is also requires students to do independent research on topics that they're motivated to learn about, and it makes it a lot more fun and interactive. And because of the collaboration experience, I feel more comfortable talking to adults and students because I don't see them as like teachers, but as friends and colleagues. IA teaches confidence, creativity, collaboration, and most important, learning can be fun. And I think that is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kira. Okay, any board members, comments, or questions? This is an information item. Dr. McQuarrie?
Yep. I have visited Innovation Academy and impressed with the school and what they're doing and the connections they make with their students. What I recall as a highlight are the numbers, the percentage of students who have IEPs in our special ed. There's something like 20%. In most of our schools, it's like 12 to 15%. So Innovations Academy has a very high number. And what I could recall in that visitation is the outstanding work that they're doing to meet the needs of our special education students. I want to thank you for that.
Just a formality, I'd like to close the public hearing. Okay, Dr. Evans?
Well, if enthusiasm is any measure of school performing well, I think we can see that pretty well here today. I have visited the school also, and I know that as a psychologist, the focus on the social, emotional development of the students is of paramount importance, and I think you're doing a very good job there. So I look forward to seeing your full petition next month when we vote on the renewal of the petition. Thank you.
Dr. Whitehurst-Payne?
The enthusiasm is overwhelming. I too like the project-based model, but I just have a question for staff on math. 2 math types sitting here. What is going on in math?
Yes, so this school also has seen a decline in their CASP math scores. They have actually already begun addressing it. They recognize that that was a shortcoming, and so they have hired a consultant who is essentially redoing the entire math program for them. So they've already taken steps to correct that.
Okay. I just briefly would like to say a couple of words. I remember when IA was first looking for a home many years ago, and there was a discussion about a co-location. And a lot of people know that I'm a strong advocate of allowing charter schools to have their own facilities. And so that's when we began having a conversation many years ago with then Bernie Reinerson, Chief of Staff, and some other folks at the school district about the opportunity of the facility up in Scripps Ranch that wasn't being utilized to educate students. And so I remember working very closely with the charter school community and with the San Diego Unified staff to solve a couple of different problems by allowing them to locate up in Scripps Ranch. I wish that you could stay in that home, but unfortunately, I'm on the minority on the board in that regard. But I'll continue to move forward to support Innovations Academy and look forward to voting to approve your renewal at the next meeting. Okay, that concludes our that information item. Superintendent Martin, do you have any additional comments or questions? Nope. On to item E3, public hearing to consider the renewal of the charter petition for E3 Civic High School. Superintendent let's go ahead and take a brief 1-minute recess. 1 minute. Please make your way to the exits if you wish to depart at this time. We have an exit up here in the front. We have an exit up here in the front also, please, folks. Superintendent Martin, please present item E3, the renewal of charter petition for E3 Civic High.
See what we did there with the agenda? Thank you, President Buzzer. You see, we made sure E3 was item E3 on the agenda. We did that on purpose. You're welcome, yes. I'll have Ms. Walsh from our charter office present this charter petition renewal.
Thank you. So this is the public hearing for E3 Civic High. The school is seeking a renewal of its charter for a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2018 and ending June 30, 2023. This is E3's first renewal petition, so they've done their 5-year term and this is the first renewal. The public hearing is to consider the level of support for E3. The school currently serves grades 9 through 12 at a private site located at 395 11th Avenue, which falls within the attendance boundaries of Sherman Elementary, Roosevelt Middle, and San Diego High. We've included an overview of the school. We've also included their projected enrollment for the 5-year term of the renewal term. The E3 governing board is the decision-making body for the charter school. There are currently 9 members, as summarized in Table 3. And for 2017-18, their enrollment consists of students that would have otherwise attended the schools identified in Table 4. And we do note that E3 students come from 14 different district high schools, and they also have a sizable percentage, about 16.8%, coming from out of district. District staff is reviewing the charter renewal documents submitted by the school and will bring a recommendation to grant or deny the renewal at a subsequent date.
Thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to open a hearing on the information item. We have some speakers. We have several speakers, so you'll be limited to 2 minutes each. If you don't need to use the full 2 minutes, that's fine. Let's go ahead and begin with Kyra Bunch. Okay, you're going to go out of order?
A little bit out of order.
Okay, so how about I'll just do this. I'll call everybody, and then the timekeeper will just give each person 2 minutes. So Robert Dorsey, Brennan Reap, Kyra Bunch, Matt Spathos, Lourdes Garcia Chepe, Pedro Estrada, Alexandra Lombard, and Dr. Helen Griffith.
Perfect. Thank you. Board of Trustees, Superintendent, and staff. Matt Spathis, Board Chair, E3 Civic High, and I wanted to say tonight that I'm very proud of E3. In the first 4.5 years, E3's grown from 0 to 400 students. Proud of our leadership, our staff, our scholars, our parents, our board, and our collaborative and synergistic partnership with San Diego Unified. E3 sets forth a clear vision to engage, empower, and educate while preparing students for college, workforce, and life. E3 leverages technology to support and the cloud to support teaching and learning and student outcomes. On average, students enter E3 2 years behind grade level and 5 years behind college ready. E3 aspires that all students will be college ready upon graduation using clear academic targets, metrics, and multiple measures. Our 2 graduating classes to date have 100% graduation rates and 100% have met San Diego Unified benchmarks for A through G. Now I'd like to turn it over to some of our amazing staff, or students and parents of our learning community. So thank you very much.
Good evening, members of the board and Cindy Martin, Superintendent. My name is Lourdes Garcia Chepe. I'm the proud mother of Andrea Nabor Garcia, a junior at E3 Civic High. Tonight, I want to take the opportunity to share our family experience at E3 Civic High School. Our family are strong supporters of the school and everything it has to offer our scholars. We appreciate everything that the learning facilitators and staff have done to make this an amazing learning environment to their scholars. Dr. Griffith and her team are passionate in preparing scholars for college, workforce, and to be life ready. The staff pushes, encourages, and celebrates their scholars' success, and I believe this helps give our scholars the confidence they need to always do better. As a parent, one of my biggest concerns is safety. One of the many things that I appreciated is the care and dedication that the staff makes. The staff takes in making sure that the school is a safe, secure, and respectful place for all scholars. With all the opportunities and influence that my daughter has experienced, I have witnessed a personal growth. She is focused and doing well in her AP classes and has a clear plan of what she needs to do to be college ready. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the board, Dr. Griffith, and her wonderful staff for their hard work and dedication, and congratulations on 5 amazing years.
Hello, my name is Pedro Estrada, and I was part of the first graduating class at E3 Civic High, and I'm currently a student at San Diego City College. My time at E3 has been marked not only by academic growth, but also personal growth, both of which are traits that help me excel academically. E3 Civic High taught me how to be an effective team member and leader, and even more so, an effective communicator. This is due to the project-based learning approach offered at E3 Civic High, which permits students to take control of their own education and demonstrate mastery of course material through creative outlets that exemplify their own passions. This approach has left me with the leadership skills that are currently helping me in the quest for academic excellence and will continue to help me in my future endeavors. I plan to obtain a medical degree, become a physician, and these traits are imperative to my success. My interest in the medical sciences was incited by an anatomy and physiology course taken during my senior year at E3. That same year, as a class, we took a field trip to the private practice of an orthopedic surgeon. We were able to see the video of an actual hip replacement surgery. While there, I found that I had a passion for the intricacies of the surgical profession, and needless to say, I was hooked. I can thank E3 for unlocking that passion. This past fall, I applied and was offered a position on the staff of E3, and I am proud to say that I am currently an instructional tutor. This is a position that empowers me to help other scholars like myself to unlock their own passions. Apart from permitting me to cultivate the passions of scholars, I can witness the growth in them that I once saw in myself. I congratulate my school on being 5 years strong. Next, Kiari Bunch, a current 10th grader, ready to share her own E3 story.
Hello, my name is Kiari Bunch, and I am a proud sophomore at E3 Civic High. The idea to put a school in the library is truly brilliant. Having scholars surrounded by books, computers, and other resources is a huge advantage to our learning experience. When I first heard about the school in the library, I was amazed that I could attend a school in one of my favorite places. Knowing that I would be surrounded by so many books and learning every day has made me more excited to go to school than ever before. I am grateful every day that I am able to attend such an amazing school and thrive the way I am. My experience at E3 is a special one. E3 has created an environment that pushes everyone to be their best. In the last year alone, I have taken classes not usually offered in a traditional high school, such as forensic science, which has sparked my interest and steered me towards a potential career for my future. One of the best things that E3 has to offer is its commitments to its students. Not only will they go above and beyond to make sure every scholar is included in the diverse community by celebrating every culture and by integrating students in different grades, they make academics a high priority and introduce the importance of being a lifelong learner. I can say that I have grown to be a better scholar because of my time at E3. I have not only made new friends, but I've become a civic leader. My high school years at E3 will help me become a leader and be an upstanding citizen. E3 is a school that I am proud to call my home. I would like to take this opportunity to thank E3 learning facilitators, administration, and staff for making such a beautifully unique learning environment. Next, I would like to introduce Senior Alexander Lumdar.
Education's responsibility is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Malcolm Forbes. E3 Civic High School has allowed me to become a more open-minded person and given me many opportunities that have allowed me to grow into the scholar that I am today. Hello, my name is Alexandra Lombard, and I am currently a senior at E3. I have been studying at E3 for about 3 years now, and about a year ago, I was given the opportunity to graduate a year early. Like most middle schoolers, when I first came to E3, I was a little bit lost. I didn't have any plans to learn any new languages or to even travel. The only subject I was interested in was mathematics. My exposure to a different language had started in middle school, where I took Spanish for 3 years. But in all honesty, it wasn't really a class that I liked or even something I wanted to pursue in high school. When I arrived at E3, I decided to check out the Mandarin program. This was the best decision I believe I've ever made. It opened me up to a brand new culture and different ideas I had not yet seen. Within 2 months, I was given an academic achievement award in Mandarin and also the top of my class. About a year later, I was given an amazing opportunity to go to China for 16 days by a sponsorship that Dr. Griffith had arranged on my behalf. Now, almost 3 years later, I want to travel the world and make a difference that helps all, and that passion was fueled by the exposure and my learning community has afforded me. E3 has given me a vast amount of opportunities that have helped shape me as a person. Internships, UCSD courses, job shadows, community service days, and so many more. Not only has E3 given me many opportunities, but it's also cultivated an environment that has allowed me to reach my fullest potential. All of my learning facilitators have been absolutely wonderful and encourage scholars to ask questions and help us with anything we need. Learning facilitators like Dr. Chowdhury, Ms. Heath, Mr. Bello, and many more show you a different side of learning that has you engaged. The staff members always make sure that you are doing your best and are there for you at any turn. The fact that everyone has an open door policy, from the executive director to the deans and even the front desk office staff, has made me love and appreciate the environment so much more. Educate, engage, and empower, the 3 words that E3 stands for. Wow, have they hit their mark on all of them. Thank you. I'm proud to hand it off to the beloved Dr. Griffith, the executive director of E3.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Directors. I'm Dr. Helen Griffith, Founding Executive Director, and we are E3 Civic High, where we engage, educate, and empower our learning community to be passionate, lifelong learners and civic leaders who are prepared for college, workforce, and life. To accomplish this, we offer our scholars a vast variety of supports and resources in order to be better than successful. We offer full-time on-site tutoring, an extended school day, Saturday academy, school-wide offering of the PSAT and SAT, competency-based grading, summer school, competency-based summer school, small class sizes, and a restorative community of family. We are confident with our amazing team, if a scholar has the desire to succeed, we will have them college-ready, workforce-ready, and life-ready by the time they leave their high school career. We are E3 Civic High. We are diverse. Not only are we more than 73% Hispanic, we're diverse in lifestyle, ethnicity, culture, in thought, in word, in actions, and we celebrate our rich exchange of gifts and talents so that we might change the world. Not only do we speak Spanish and Mandarin, but we send more than 20 scholars to China to immerse themselves in the country, and Mexico City and the Yucatan to speak the language. We're diverse in that more than 74% of our scholars qualify for free and reduced lunch. 18% are English learners. 15% receive special education services, and more than 68% will be the first in their family to attend and graduate from college. At E3 Civic High, we're engaged. We engage the adult world of work, where our scholars have completed more than 1,750 hours of job shadows, more than 2,820 hours of internships for this school year only. We are preparing our scholars for the workforce of the future to succeed in jobs that we can't even yet predict. Civic leadership is our way of life. Paying it forward is our mantra. And we plan to have our scholars stand on our shoulders and do better than we've done and change the world. Thank you for your consideration for our charter renewal and a positive vote on March the 6th.
Good evening. I've been to many of these charter renewal meetings from the beginning of
Please state your name.
My name is Robert Dorsey.
Thank you.
I've been to many of these charter renewal meetings from the beginning of my children's education at Barnard Mandarin Elementary School with Principal Eddie Park, now to Dr. Griffin at E3. So I understand the importance of community and family support for new and innovative learning, allowing the minds of our children to flourish and thrive. And now that I have a scholar at E3, once again our family is embarking on a new journey for educational excellence and college preparedness. My child is excited and actively engaging and looking forward to attending college, blazing a trail for her younger sister to follow, as many other scholars at E3 are doing for their younger siblings on their way into E3. To engage, educate, and empower our learning community to be passionate, lifelong learners and civic leaders who are prepared for college and workforce. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Brendan Reed. I am the proud parent of 2 students in the Unified School District, a 4th grader who's at Bernie next door, and a 10th grader at E3. I just wanted to share a few informal remarks about my experience with E3. My son started high school actually at San Diego High last year, and to be honest, he struggled. It was a big school, and probably to be more honest, I struggled as a parent. It just didn't work for me. I didn't know what my options were. I'm a downtown resident, and I really didn't want to go anywhere else. I love the downtown lifestyle. And then I happened to go to a community event where I sat next to the very enthusiastic Dr. Griffith, as you can tell, and she told me all about E3, and I thought, wow, this sounds amazing. I visited the school and was lucky enough to get my son enrolled. What I've found in the last 5 months is that I could not have been more impressed with the school. Obviously, the location is spectacular, being co-located with the library. The staff has been beyond patient with my son, and has been supportive of not only him, but also of me and my partner in how to survive life with a teenager. They have bent over backwards at every occasion, and finally, their focus on college-ready and being a productive, positive civic leader, I think that can't be underestimated. I'm a proud public agency employee, and they are so connected with the community downtown and in the greater San Diego area. So in closing, I want to first thank you for your service on the board. And then I also hope that you will consider approving E3's renewal at the next meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That will close the public hearing. Any board member comments or questions? Dr. Mike McQuarrie.
A couple of things.
Dr. McQuarrie.
Alberto Ochoa wasn't able to be here, but he did send a letter, and I just wanted to share a couple of statements that he had made. So he says, this is to express strong support for the E3 renewal petition. I have had the privilege of being part of the design and development of the E3 and have witnessed its consistent academic growth in serving a highly diverse student community. He goes on to include some of the same statements that have been made here already tonight, but he closes, so I'll just finish with his closing statement. I strongly urge you to renew the E3 Civic High petition and its innovative curriculum, serving a student population that is being academically challenged and creating a college-going culture in one of the most beautiful physical spaces in our city, the public library. And I also want to call attention to a fact that's here in your handout, that 100% of the E3 senior class of 2017 graduated in June. That's 100%. This exemplary group earned over $860,000 in scholarships, and 95% of the scholars were admitted into 2- and 4-year colleges and universities. And just one more byline. I did travel to China with one of your administrators, and we had a great time. He was looking for it was a real thrill to be with him, and it was a thrill also to come back and then to visit E3 and to get a tour of your campus. Thank you.
Dr. Evans.
Yeah, well, once again, obviously, enthusiasm is showing up very clearly for this school, and they certainly have a great team with Dr. Griffith at the head, but also in terms of a very impressive board. You mentioned Alberto Ochoa, but with Matt Spathis as the chair and Mel Katz as the past chair. There have been a lot of community members that have been very involved and supportive of this school, and this is a unique school because the only case that I know of where we actually built a school, we built a building and then found a school afterwards to occupy that building. So there must have been a lot of faith in the future of that school. But only one question on a personal note is I can't imagine why they're up for renewal, because I went and visited when they first opened just 1 or 2 years ago. So I don't know what. A lot's happened in 5 years.
Dr. Whitehurst-Payne.
I must say that this school is very unique because not only for the positives that you've noted, but for the environment around it. I think the students are really getting a lesson in reality. The mayor has talked about the homeless issues and so forth, and this school is right there in the center of that. So the students they're getting a life lesson right there at that school. So I commend the parents and the staff for just pulling together to support the students in that environment. Yes, the library's beautiful, but you're really doing a great job to allow the children to go there and for them to experience reality, if you will. Having said that, I think it's wonderful what you've been able to do there. And I just want to know, I see you're improving your math scores, and I'm sure she's got a reason for why and what your trajectory is on that. But I commend you for really being different and taking on the real world, if you will. I mean, most of us live in an environment and we hear about the homeless, but you live it daily because you traverse the territory to go to school. And I just really want to applaud you for that. Say thank you.
Just briefly, I'm thrilled that you guys are here tonight to see so many students and staff here. I visited the school many times over the past several years, and I look forward to voting to renew the charter at the next meeting. Okay, now we will consider item E4, a public hearing to consider the charter petition to establish a new charter school, National University Academy 1001 STEAM. We'll take a brief 1-minute recess. There's an exit at the front of the auditorium as well. 1-minute recess. Please make your way to the exits quickly. We have an exit here in the front of the auditorium as well. If you could please take your conversations out into the hallway, that would be fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, I'd like to call our meeting back to order. Okay, we'll now at this point in time take up item E4, the public hearing to consider the petition for the new charter school, National University Academy 1001 STEAM. Superintendent Cindy Martin, please present the item.
Thank you, President Beiser. This is, as you just said, I'll have Ms. Walsh present the item about the National University Academy 1001 STEAM and this public hearing.
Thank you. This public hearing is held pursuant to Ed Code Section 47605 to consider the level of support by teachers employed by the district, other employees of the district, and parents and guardians for the petition to establish a new charter school, National University Academy 1001 STEAM. Kimberly Kopp is the lead petitioner. This school is currently authorized by Lakeside Union School District and serves grades 6 through 12 at a non-district facility located at 3678 Arrow Court, which is within the attendance boundaries of Angier, Taft, and Kearney High School. The school proposes to be authorized by San Diego Unified School District as of July 1, 2018, and is requesting a 5-year term beginning July 1, 2018 and ending June 30, 2023. We've included the school's projected enrollment tables. On page 38 of the charter petition, the school indicated that the majority of the students come from certain areas, specifically Oak Park, Linda Vista, Claremont, Kearney Mesa, and Mira Mesa. And the petition describes a non-classroom-based educational program with a STEAM focus. The governing board is the decision-making body for the charter school. The school's bylaws require a minimum of 8 and maximum of 15 governing board members. According to the roster included, there are currently 7 board members. And district staff is reviewing the charter petition documents submitted by the school and will bring a recommendation to grant or deny the charter at a subsequent date.
Ms. Donovan, could you also add some detail to the reason why this petition is coming before us?
I can try. The National University Charter School has been operating in San Diego Unified's boundaries until just now under a charter authorized by the Lakeside Union School District. We notified them some time ago of our objections to the legality of that operation. We've been through the court system at this point, and we have a judgment. And so this is essentially National University Charter Schools' request that they be authorized to operate legally within our own boundaries, which is where their facility is located.
Thank you, Ms. Donovan.
Thank you. At this point in time, I'll open the public hearing. We have 5 speakers. You have 2 minutes each. Nancy Roland Heinrich, Kimberly Kopp, Dr. James Juarez, James Gianelli, and John Sickerell.
If I could add one more thing that you might find relevant, the school was granted a waiver by the State Board of Education that allows it to operate in its current facility, and that waiver expires at the end of this school year, so June 30th of 2018.
Okay, please come forward in any order. You have 2 minutes each. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Kopp. I'm the Executive Director and Lead Petitioner for National University Academy 1001 STEAM. As our name implies, we are a STEAM program, so we emphasize instruction in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. We are a WASC accredited school. We're award-winning. We have a California Gold Ribbon Award, 21st Century Learning Exemplar School, and we're a Title I Academic Achievement Awarded school. We understand the purpose of a public hearing today is to demonstrate our school support, so if you are with 1001 STEAM, would you please stand? Thank you, everybody. We are an existing school. We've been around for nearly a decade. We are currently authorized, as Deirdre mentioned, by Lakeside Union School District, and we're seeking local authorization with San Diego Unified. We strongly desire to be a part of San Diego Unified. We understand it's not the charter office's job to provide us guidance in the development of our petition. What you see in our petition are our current practices and policies as they relate to our current authorizer, Lakeside Union School District. What I'd like you to know is if you see something in our petition that could be revised to better align ourselves with San Diego Unified, we'd be willing to have those conversations and amend our petition accordingly. Another thing I'd like you to know is that 1001 STEAM is currently a part of a larger school that includes other programs. We also have a dual language institute, a Waldorf program, a homeschool, etc. Data on the CDE website reflects the NUA programs as a whole, not 1001 STEAM. What you see in the petition reflects the data that is unique to 1001 STEAM. Speaking of unique, what makes our school unique is our relationship with National University, who supports us tremendously. National University provides us with a location to operate, supports us with back office support. Professors from our School of Engineering work alongside our teachers to instruct our students. It's a relationship that has been externally vetted through external audits, WASC, self-studies, and more, and has achieved 100% compliance ever since our first year of operation. It is also a relationship that has given our current authorizer comfort in knowing that National University supports our charter.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm a program lead for National University Academy, STEAM.
Please state your name for the record.
James Gianelli.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to express my support for the charter because it's such a unique group of people that go to school there. It is a different type of charter, and as you know, everybody learns differently. We are a school combined with the university. We have actual professors helping the teachers teach robotics. One of our robotics teachers is here today. He'll explain more. But we also have extracurricular items, after-school clubs. We have a basketball team, girls and boys, and we've been around for quite some time. We're a solid school on solid footing, and I would think it's a slam dunk to see why to petition us. We've been with Lakeside for quite some time. They can vouch for how our organization runs. We also have the buildings needed through National University. I would also like to say that we have a diverse culture, and that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Dr. James Juarez, and thank you for seeing us today and hearing us out, to the board, superintendent. I'm privileged and blessed to be part of the faculty at National University in the School of Engineering and Computing. About 4 years ago, a little more than 4 years ago, I was approached by some of our students in the hallway from our charter school, and they said, Dr. James, would you consider helping us run a robotics team? And boy, I didn't know what I was getting into, of course, as you probably could have warned me. But 4 years later, they're like family. And these little ones who are going on to graduate and to go to college and to seek all kinds of adventures, and those who are in the robotics club, they've just become a part of our lives, which is probably why you're in the business that you were in. So We just want to say it's been a great opportunity for college professors to join alongside of the high school teachers and to be able to encourage STEM learning, STEAM learning. I personally attend and teach the class in engineering design, in digital arts, and in computer science for these kids because they wrote me in so much. But we also are our first robotics competition team where we have the family of San Diego Unified. We're joining about 65 different high schools throughout San Diego for San Diego Regionals, Orange County Regionals, Ventura Regionals. We're part of a family. We go to Sherman Elementary for outreach for MakerFest with USCSD STEM ecosystem. We're Maker Fair, Maker Fest. These kids are out in the community. They represent a great school. They represent probably all that San Diego Unified could dream of in little people. They're going to go to college. When asked, are you going to go to college? Are you going to succeed? Or can you go to college? The answer for our students they're already in college. They attend our campus. They're taught by professors. So the difference that you're going to see in this charter is one in which they get direct access to the university. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Juarez. My name is John Cicero. I'm the Dean of the School of Engineering and Computing at National University. I actually want to speak on behalf of National University and what an impact this charter high school has had on the university. As you probably know, National University serves primarily returning adults. Our average age student is about 32, 33 years old. And as a result of that, almost all of our students are working full-time. So if you come to our Kearney Mesa campus before the students arrived about 4 or 5 years ago, it was virtually empty during the day because our students wouldn't start arriving until about 5:30. Well, since the high school students arrived, my first reaction was a little bit of trepidation. I don't know what it's going to be like to have high school students on the campus. But I've got to tell you, after watching them for about 4 or 5 years, they have certainly brought life to our operation. It's so great to not only see students in the classes during the days, but toward the end of the day is when Dr. Juarez and some of the other professors kick into action. And if you would come to our campus, you would walk around and you would see science projects, robotics projects, drones projects. I was just thinking last night as I was watching these drone projects in the hallway, the place is alive. I had to be careful where I was going to step because I didn't want to step on a drone that was laying there on the ground. So it's added not only to the environment, but it's also given our students, National University students, a chance to work with the high school students. They're involved in projects. The university students have capstones. They work with, they mentor the high school students. It's a relationship like I've never seen before, and I really hope we can continue that. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Nancy Rowland Heinrich, and I'm the president of pre-college programs for the National University System. Thank you, distinguished board members, Superintendent Martin, and staff. On behalf of the National University System, I want to extend our support and express our strong commitment to the National University Academy 1001 STEAM Charter. There are many reasons to support this charter. You've heard many of them, but it really is a unique partnership with the National University System. And I've been involved with the charter since it started. National, as you know, is one of the largest private nonprofit universities in the state of California, and we've been an integral part of the San Diego community since 1971. I've been there since 1979, and I've witnessed this. And it's very exciting to have our 6th through 12th graders join our 150,000 graduates of National University, of which many are in K-12 education, especially in San Diego Unified School District, where we have partnered for over 30 years. In California, we are a statewide leader in K-12 education. This provides an opportunity to serve as somewhat of a demonstration school and to have an opportunity to have our faculty not only from the School of Engineering and Computing, but also from our Sanford College of Education, work with our students, as we're the #1 providers of teachers in the state of California for the last 16 years. Our university system has embraced the charter since its inception. We provide extensive resources and professional expertise to support the charter. We are proud to have a unique, distinctive, and innovative charter school on our campus in Kearny Mesa, which models the successful integration of higher education and K-12, which is why the California Department of Education originally came to us and said, we'd like National University, with its prominence in K-12 education, to get involved with supporting a charter, and we did. Thank you for your support. We encourage you to visit and to recognize our charter as a valuable asset and tremendous option for students in San Diego County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The public hearing on item E4 is now closed. Any board member comments or questions? Dr. McQuarrie?
Yeah, this charter reminds me of Preuss, which is connected with the UC San Diego campus, and it's a tight link between the school and the professors there. And it's been a very, very successful model with 100% of their students graduating. So I'm really thrilled to be able to take a look at this and your application. I look forward to the staff's recommendation. In addition, we do have colleges, we do have high schools on our college campuses. I want to remind you that we have the Met at the Mesa College, we have the East Village working with San Diego City, and many of our high schools are co-registering on community colleges, and college instructors are teaching on our high school campuses. We have early graduation at Kearny High School, for example, and those students who are graduating here in the winter at the end of this term will be attending college at Mesa campus. So we do have a number of our schools are linked with universities, and this looks like another opportunity for us to see another model and see how that works. So thank you for your application, and thank you for presenting it to us.
Dr. Whitehurst-Payne?
It seems that National had a private school at one time on their campus, maybe in North County. Does anybody know about that? You did?
You can
Okay,
please,
so
if you'd like to step forward to the podium, there may be questions for you. Thank you, ma'am.
You did have a private K-12?
Yes. The inception of the College of Education was originally in the early 1980s, and we did have a K-12 private school on campus at the Vista campus, which happens to now be the central office for our charter school. But that ended probably in the late 80s, and we also have a private nonprofit online high school. Thank you.
I know I showed my age there. Sorry about that, but in the back of my mind, I remember working with the university on that. I'm excited about hearing more also, and hearing from the staff on this to meet the needs.
Okay. Any other board member comments or questions? Okay. I do have a question. Why did you not come to San Diego Unified for a charter in the city of San Diego before? Why did you go to Lakeside School District to get your petition approved or to become a charter?
That was a decision that was made by the former executive director. I believe he had a relationship out there in Lakeside, and that seemed to be an agreeable place to start. Originally, we were going to open up in Lakeside Union, and we tried to operate in Lakeside Union, but we could not find a suitable location. We operated out of a trailer for the first year, and it just did not work out. So National University gave our school a home, and it was the home in Kearny Mesa. And at the time, under the way the law was interpreted, where we could legally operate back then, we consulted attorneys. We believed at the time that we were operating lawfully. But now, since Anderson Shasta, we know that that is incorrect. And so we're here to take corrective action, and we hope to be authorized by San Diego Unified.
Okay, I appreciate your response. Thank you very much. Okay, Superintendent Martin, do you have any additional comments or responses? Okay, at this point in time, I believe, do we have any additional non-agenda public speakers? All right, so this portion of the board meeting will be, we will be adjourned until Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. However, the school board will re-adjourn into closed session upstairs. Oh, and I apologize. One more thing. I think it's very, very important. I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn the board meeting in honor of Trustee Richard Barrera's father, Ernesto Martin Barrera, born December 12, 1935. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
Moment of silence?
Moment of silence. Okay. Let's go ahead and vote at this point in time to approve the motion to close the board meeting in honor of Ernesto Martin Barrera. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. We are adjourned.